Episode 4 of the Unapologetic Gentlemen. We're back. We're here to talk about the election and all the craziness that's happened since. Where do you guys want to start?
It's over. To me, it's over. Biden won. Right now, I'm looking at the projections. It's Saturday. We're about a week after it was announced that he won the election. It's 290 to 232, and history repeats itself, man. Every time a candidate wins, the opposite side is screaming fraud. They're screaming all types of dirty, foul play. But January 20th, man, Joe Biden is going to be putting his hand on that Bible, and he's going to be swearing in to be the next and the 46th president of the United States. And these Trumpsters, they got to let it go, man. It's over.
Do you guys have faith that that's going to happen?
Of course. I do. I just don't think they have much of a legal ground. I've been trying to keep up with it as much as possible. Obviously, it's a little difficult because they have, X number of lawsuits out against X number of states. But, yeah, just based on the information, based on, his lawyer, Trump's lawyer, admitted to the judge that they don't really have any evidence. I think this is a reach. But as any candidate does when they lose, they do this thing. So
yeah, but what pisses me off about this is that Donald Trump has a track record of whenever he loses at something, he feels like, okay, I can go cry to my lawyers and they're going to fix it for me. In this situation,
that's what rich people do.
Well, absolutely, absolutely. But he's been doing it all his life. He used to cry to his dad, and now he's crying to his lawyers. And to be honest with you, man, for people that really think that this guy is a good person to be in office and to be running our country, man, I feel bad for them. And one of the things that pisses me off that I see the most of those same people that are thinking that this guy has the character to be the president of the United States, they're saying, oh, we lost, but to a fraud election, and look, we're not looting and burning stuff. Get the fuck out of here. The reason why people were looting and burning was because innocent black men were being gunned down by cops. You cannot compare the two. And that part, when I see people posting about shit like that, man, that shit pisses me off.
It's called a false equivalency.
Yeah, of course.
But
you have to make it.
For me, I think you have to look at the fact that early on we knew that there were record numbers of votes coming in. Joe Biden, I think I'm comfortable in saying most people don't necessarily think that Joe Biden was a better candidate than Obama, but way more people voted for him. I think because of the vitriol and the craziness of Donald Trump, even myself, I've never voted for an election before until this election, just because I wasn't going to sit by and not try to do my part to make sure this man wasn't going to have a second term. So I think that the numbers are higher, and people, fraud this, fraud that. Let's be honest. At every voting station, I voted. There's multiple Republicans,
of course,
multiple Democrats at every voting station, counting, vetting the votes, doing all that. So to sit here and act like there weren't people who were Trump supporters at these voting stations doing the counting is ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
You know what's so surprising is if this mail-in vote becomes a thing, like I can see record numbers of people voting every election.
Makes it easier.
Yeah. It makes it easier. I don't have to miss work for it. I don't have to go stand in line. I don't have to do those things.
My wife mail-in voted.
Yeah, I don't have to do those things
I
mail-in vote. I don't have to do some of those things that they had to do in the past to get a vote in. Like I believe you're going to see record amount of voting going forward. I honestly believe you'll probably
we've seen record voting. 78 million for Biden and 72 million for Trump.
Literally half the people in our country voted.
And I think you're going to see a lot of a lot of states turning Democrat, turning blue, because you're getting those amount of people,
not the
voting.
southern states though.
Of course,
but
like there's some states, but we're talking about
Atlanta and the surrounding suburbs showed out.
They showed out, son. And they're talking about Texas eventually like turning blue
because a lot of people from the West Coast are moving to Texas.
Of course,
that's a lot of people from California. Joe Rogan was talking about that.
That's insane.
So from California to Texas.
What we're talking about is some of these southern states who are, diehard. If you can turn Texas blue, it's over. You get New York, California, Texas. Whoa.
Yeah. Only thing you're missing is Florida.
Whoa.
What's crazy about this too is that you can go as early as 2016, and if you watch clips, Fox News, CNN, everything did was flip, because the hypocrisy of this is insane to me. Yeah. When you watch the 2016
videos,
videos compared to the videos now, about how they were saying, when Donald Trump won, that the Democrats were yelling fraud, and this was an election that was stolen from them. It's the same thing, and you can go to countless elections, and you're going to hear the same thing. The same things being preached, the same things being talked about on the news stations, and it's funny to me because people keep falling for the same shit, man.
Yeah. But I think, again, there's a sect of people who have been Republicans for years that don't necessarily want anything to do with Donald Trump, but they're never going to vote Democrat, who I think a lot of those people that I know and that I've seen on social media, like, they've come to grips with the election. It's the people who are like the cult following, Donald Trump's a god, let's go to all his rallies. Like, those people, you see pictures of them crying and all this type of stuff. And remember, in 2016, they were calling all Democrats snowflakes and this, that, and crying.
Why do you guys think he's so polarizing? Is it a racial thing?
I think because the thing for me, the biggest thing that I've come to grips with, because when I was growing up, I always thought to myself, okay, I grew up in the church. My dad is a devout Christian, born again, and he had a lot of conservative values, not necessarily socially per se, but like had a lot of conservative values. And I felt like for a long time, because the Republicans had the evangelical vote, they had like a moral high ground, right? As opposed to some of the progressive things that are coming from the Democratic Party. I think that shift now. Like, when people started supporting Donald Trump, like, whenever would they have elected a president who had 3 different wives, cheated on this person with a porn star and this person with a prostitute and these type of things? Like, there's no moral high ground. Like, that switched for me, because now we were looking at when I say we, not that we weren't looking at the character of people, because, I mean, Obama had an impeccable character, but there's those people that voted for Trump that in years past always stood on the moral high ground, and to me, like, that completely flipped. So I think that's
why though. That's what I'm trying to figure out. That's what I'm saying.
Someone said to me the other day, Donald Trump is for America first. That's why I voted for him. Like, these nationalists, like patriots, who are, all American, everything. America's the best at everything. I think that's a big part of it.
Yeah, I think that's a huge part of it. I think also that the fact that he is a businessman, and he's perceived as a good businessman. I think that played a big factor, and I think the fact that he just wasn't into politics. He wasn't necessarily a politician. He wasn't a politician.
Unqualified.
Yeah. So I think that right there was like a change, like something different. People were tired of the same run-of-the-mill politicians, like turning.
It's funny because I have some of my Black and Hispanic friends that the first time in 2016 voted for him because they make good money, and they were like, oh, he's going to help me make more money. Yeah. So it's like you basically turn your moral values and your character of who you are and what this man stands for or doesn't stand for in order to put more money in your pocket. That doesn't sit right with me, though.
There were a lot of people that voted for Obama twice that voted for Trump the first time. A lot.
I also think you should vote in your interest. Like, you should vote in your interest.
Yeah, but you can't say I'm doing it because he's going to put more money in my pocket. You being Black or Latino,
but that's your
being
interest.
A fiscal conservative is your number one priority.
Yeah, that's your interest.
I mean,
that kind of just reveals who you are as a character.
If you look at his
policies, you value more, you value your money more than you do your own people.
You're saying that's not a deal breaker. Some people do.
You're just saying that's not a deal breaker. If you look at all the presidents we've had, we're all the same age, right? If you look at the conservative presidents we've had in our lifetime, the Bushes, Donald Trump's policies and what he's done, he's been the most conservative president we've ever had in our life. So, like, people that are super conservative, you know, and you can see it by his Supreme Court nominations, right? He's super conservative. So even though his rhetoric is ridiculous, like he's way more conservative than I think people originally thought he was going to be. So those people who were like diehard Second Amendment, pro-life, against gay marriage, that type of stuff, like Donald Trump was all in on
they're
that.
all in.
Hook, line, and sinker. So
nationalism,
that was a big part of it.
They're all in.
Like, that was a big part of it.
I mean, I do get what you're saying, because at some point in time, I mean, where the hell are your morals? Like
that's what I'm saying.
Like, where the hell are those? And I can get that, because again, me, it would all be about morals to me. I like, if you take more money, you take more money. Like, the one thing we can all do in this world is make more money. Like, I don't give a damn what you do. You can find a way to make more money. You can't get a life back. You can't get a life back. You can't get time back. Can't get respect back. You can't teach love. You're trying to teach love, especially with children. All three of us have children. Like, you want your child to be in this place and feel safe in this place. All three of us have minority children. Like that's just serious. Like, so, and then you two have boys. Like which is another aspect of this whole thing. So I think that a lot of people just don't really give a damn. Like, they just vote in their interest and don't.
But again, like, right and wrong is a matter of perspective. So even though our morals don't align with the Republican Party, like, in those people's minds, their morals are correct.
Yeah.
So
and a lot of people don't think that this stuff is like, they don't believe that there's systematic racism. Like, that's just like, I don't know how you can't wrap your head around that. But a lot of people don't fucking believe it.
But people vote their interest. It's like, I'm very sympathetic with immigration, right? But I would never not vote or vote for someone necessarily based on their immigration stance, because, right, directly, immigration doesn't affect me or anyone that I love, right? So it's not that I'm not sympathetic about it, but like, just like how black men being shot in the street, like, a lot of people can't relate to it, so it's not the first thing that comes to their mind. So immigration is down lower on the scale for me, because it just doesn't affect anyone that I know personally. Even though I know it affects a lot of people, it's something that is going to be lower down on my list of things, checks off for who I'm going to vote for. So maybe his character and the way he is, you know, there were things that he supported in his policies that were above that for some people, and they were willing to say, like...
It's until if it affects you personally.
Of course, like Ben Shapiro, who's like one of the biggest conservative, you know, political people out there. You know, he's a Harvard law grad, whatever. Even he said Donald Trump is a despicable human being, has despicable character, but like, he's a like devout Orthodox Jewish man who like he doesn't believe in gay marriage, he doesn't believe in abortion. So like, he's never gonna vote for a Democrat. You know what I'm saying? So like, it just depends. It depends on who you are. It depends on what you value. It depends on what affects you.
At the level that you have it at, because it's funny. I was talking to my mom, and she hates Donald Trump, but just for the fact that he doesn't support abortions, she literally was thinking about voting for him. Yeah, and I literally had to talk her off that ledge, and I was like, "Listen, I understand that those are your values, your beliefs, but we got to talk about this one."
Yeah, and that's a big thing for people, because for me, like, I believe in pro-choice, but like, I personally wouldn't want a child of mine to be aborted, but like, I believe in pro-choice. I think a woman should have, like, for me, it's not even a discussion.
What do you think is going to be the outcome of this with all these, lawsuits and stuff that he's putting on the states? It'll
make a bunch of noise for the next month or so, and then it'll be over. There's a certain amount of time, I don't know off the top of my head, where it becomes official. It's not January 20th. It's before that. It's like a week or two away. I can't remember off the top of my head. There's a certain amount of time where the voting becomes official. And at that point in time, like, there's just not much he's going to be able to do, especially considering he's not winning lawsuits in these states in terms of voting fraud. Like, so I don't...
January 20th is going to be the president.
About nothing. Obviously, Joe Biden's going to be the president. But, you know, it's much ado about nothing. He's making noise, and for for no damn good reason. Like, he should be handling other things. He should be governing right now instead of making noise.
I was listening to a politician, and I forgot his name, so I'm not going to be able to recall it. But he was saying that the things that Donald Trump is doing right now by not conceding and the moves that he's making, like the Secretary of Defense, him firing the Secretary of Defense and appointing one that is a Trumpster.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to even say it, but they're saying that he's doing dictatorship type moves. Like, he's setting himself up for that type of thing.
Yeah, but there's been a couple of senators that have come out that are Republicans that said they'll aid Joe Biden with the transition if it didn't happen by, I think, Friday. So
what's this going to do to Trump's legacy, man? Crying his way out of the White House.
It strengthens it.
Listen, man.
You think it strengthens it?
His legacy? Listen.
Crying himself out kicking and screaming out of the White House.
Donald Trump's legacy is literally at an all-time high right now. And it's only going to get...
For his supporters,
it's
for sure.
only going to get... especially for his supporters. This is what I'm talking about. For his supporters. And from this point on, like, he's going to be able to name... Like, he's a king namer. He'll literally be... Ted Cruz... DeSantis, whoever he wants to be president, he speaks that into existence. His following will literally follow that.
2024, he runs again?
No, I don't think so. He's too old.
He said he was.
He's talking trash. He's too old.
He's talking off emotion right now.
He
right?
enjoys playing golf, man.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if his wife, when he's out of office, his wife leaves him very soon. Based on the public interactions that we see with them.
I'm surprised she hasn't done it a long time ago. She's already in. I mean, you were already in. Whatever. I'm guessing she's waiting out a prenup. Like, it is what it is. I'm guessing she's waiting out a prenup. Whatever the prenup is, I don't know, 10 years, you get X amount of dollars. She's waiting out that shit. I'm not mad at her.
No, I'm not mad at her.
So right now, what's been literally driving me crazy, man, is like you said, the it's like a cult type following, and I don't want to call people that say people that they're in a cult. That's too,
of course,
that's too extreme. But damn, I'm talking about some of the smartest people that I know. I've never seen look so dumb with the stuff that comes out of their mouth about Donald Trump. Like,
because it's one thing to uphold conservative values, and then it's another thing to support the rhetoric and the things that come out of his mouth. So, yeah, it's crazy. Like, otherwise intelligent people, like, just supporting just craziness. But I think people are gonna look back, right? A lot of people our age who have young kids like we do, right? In 15 years, they're gonna be playing. They're gonna see Trump videos, or we had classes where we look back at old presidents' speeches and stuff, and they're gonna see Trump videos. And there's gonna be some kids that are gonna be in college and high school, and they're gonna say to their mom and dad, "You voted for Donald Trump?"
What the hell were you thinking?
They're gonna have to say yes.
The hell were you thinking?
Twice. I've voted for him twice.
That's like history.
How were you thinking?
We personally all know some Republicans and people that voted for Donald Trump that the way he's acting right now after the electoral votes came in, they're saying that they regret it right now.
Yeah.
So not all of them are.
Yeah, not all of them. Not all of them
are blindsided by their following of him. Because some of them are saying, man, like the way he's acting right now, the things that he's doing. It's somebody take his goddamn phone away, man, because he's going off on Twitter, man, and he sounds like a fucking child.
Then Twitter muted him for like a couple of days, didn't it?
I'm so happy that the tech world. Listen, Facebook, they know, but everything that he posts, they're putting a censorship on, they're putting a link, and they're putting a link directly to the truth. They're fact checking everything he says. Thank God, hey, tech world, thank you for doing that, because this man's speaking out his ass right now.
Yeah, he is. How do you guys feel about? I've seen a lot of, at least from the black community and my social media following, I've seen a lot of mixed feelings about Kamala Harris being the vice president. There's people that are overjoyed because she's black and Asian and a woman, and then there's people that are not very happy with her DA record that still aren't very happy.
So I don't know too much about her DA record. But I can't speak for the fact as far as being progressive and her being a woman, black woman, Asian descent, like that's awesome, especially for fathers like Joey that have a daughter that can look up to someone like her and say, man, if she can do it, I can do it. Yeah. And it's just opening the door to so many young girls to look at someone and say, man, if she can do it, I can do it. So that to me is
What do you guys think about the theory that Sleepy Joe is just a feet seller?
I think that's retarded.
And Kamala Harris is going to be the president.
I think that's bad. I think that's awful. I think that's a bad narrative. I think.
Do you think he sees out all 4 of his years?
Yes, I think he sees out all 4 of his years.
He's old, bro. Yo, listen, when he came, he's 77. He's 77.
You think he's going to be president when he's 81?
Bro, when he came running out, I was so scared that he was going to fall.
I would think so because he seems very coherent. He seems. I mean, people are going to make fun of his the way he speaks. Like that's just is what it is because he had a stutter or whatnot.
Shout out to all the people that have a stutter and overcame it. By the way,
absolutely. Yeah. So people are going to make fun of that.
I think it's more funny that he says, "Here's the deal" every 5 minutes. That's funny.
I mean, that's fine too.
He's a salesman. He's a salesman. At the end of the
day. The original question. Yes, I think I'm all for Kamala Harris. Not only because she's a black woman or Native American, right? Black and
Asian.
Excuse me. Yeah. Asian and black. All for that. Not because she's a woman. All for that. All that good stuff. I think that what she did as a DA is tough to swallow. Mm-hmm. I think we have to hold her accountable for it. Mm-hmm. And I think we have to acknowledge that. But it's also about us holding her accountable for what we want as people, as Democrats going forward for the people. And as long as she's going to listen, try to be active in that and try to push some of those legislations, I'm fine with that. I'm fine with it. Everybody has a past. Like, everybody's done something. And at that time, that was the best thing for her to do. Yeah. And I'm not. Who
How significant do you guys think the black vote was for them?
Oh, it was huge.
To win.
Great.
It was huge.
Do you think that's going to, her past as a DA, I know that she convicted a lot of black men for crimes, and some people feel like they were, she was too forceful, I guess you can say, with the time that she was giving for their crimes. Do you think this is kind of gonna make her say to herself, like, damn, like the black vote came out and made me the first woman vice president? You think that's gonna be in the back of her conscience now, and to where she's gonna change her tune? Or
I'm not necessarily mad at a lot of the things she did as a DA per se, because at the end of the day, you have to do a job, right? So when you're a DA, you're gonna put people.
You want your conviction rate to be
the
up.
things that got me were the stories, and there weren't many, but there were about 3 or 4 in which she knew that she was wrongly convicting someone and putting them in jail and hiding evidence to keep her rate up. So some of those people weren't even black, right? So that for me more so is a character thing. But I think that what she's done so far as a senator, the fact that she's black and a woman and Asian, that's wonderful. But for me, she's qualified, right? So that's, even for Obama, like the fact that he was black is, it's wonderful. But he was a Harvard Law grad, a senator, he was qualified, right? That's the key. Like Donald Trump wasn't qualified to be president.
So that was a
he literally just, it was
decided he was.
So that was a chess move by the Democratic Party to choose Harris, correct?
Absolutely.
Of course.
I don't even know how fond of Joe Biden she is.
Yeah.
But if you're a Democratic Party, she's young.
Do you guys think if the Democratic Party would have went with another white man that they would have won this election?
Yes.
As the vice president?
Yeah.
Yes.
I think so. I think people were fed up with Donald Trump.
Yep.
I think
so this election was won over being fed up over Donald Trump versus wanting the Democratic side to win.
I think so, because when you see in the numbers,
that polarizing.
I don't think anyone in their mind was saying, again, I said it before, that Joe Biden's a better candidate than Obama was president. But no, he got more votes. He got more black votes. He got more total
Everybody
votes.
wanted Trump out.
Exactly.
Everybody showed out.
And you gave them the option to mail in vote. Like the people,
but I've always mail-in voted. I've always
so is my wife.
I've always mail-in voted, so I don't know why people are thinking this is a new thing. Like I've always mail-in voted.
It's not a new thing.
Well,
that's what I'm saying.
They made it. They finally
people pushed for it.
They pushed for it.
What was the lady?
They pushed for it.
She ran for like
in Georgia,
governor,
right?
Senator, what was it, Stacey
Georgia.
Adams?
She got over 800,000 people qualified
she
to
was going
register
like
to
door
vote.
to door. Like
over 800,000 people she got registered.
They
to
better
vote.
give her a high-ranking position in that cabinet.
Yeah,
they owe her a lot.
I think that's what,
because she single-handedly helped swing Georgia.
Yeah,
they owe her. They owe her.
That's huge, man. I think
they owe her,
and that became that's now. I think that's now a fixture in our election policies, election process.
Yeah, you won't go back.
It's a fixture
because it's just easier,
and it's easier.
Just easier.
It's crazy. You're going to see record numbers of voting from this point on.
Because I went to the poll at 7 a.m. and it was
Packed, bro. I drove
So
past
you
it.
stood
It
in
was
line.
ridiculous.
I stood in line.
See, that's crazy. I don't know.
Now,
You did that because that was your first time ever voting.
Yeah, I wanted the experience.
I remember I said, yo, this is your first time voting? He said, yeah. He posted the little sticker thing on social media. I said, yo, T, cut that shit out, man.
said,
He
"It's my
said,
first
nah,
time."
man, this is my first time, bro.
This is my first time.
I said, all right, I'm gonna give you a pass.
Yeah,
Like,
it's my first time. But I wanted to see the experience. I was just curious, like, you know. So,
Yeah.
but the crazy thing is, when I went in right to vote, I gave the lady my license. Right, she's looking at my license. She couldn't even find my stuff. Luckily, I had my voter registration card with the number on it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I wouldn't have been able to vote. I'm like, I was confused. She could not find my thing in the system. So if I didn't have the voter registration card with that number, I wouldn't have been able to vote.
Now, imagine
I would have
how
had
many-
to leave.
imagine how many
go
people didn't
find
have
it,
that.
go look. Exactly. So I was confused. I'm like, hold up. And then I was like, hold on, I got this. Does this work? So she's like, I can't find you in the system.
It's crazy.
So-
Would you like me to bring you?
so
the
how was
bean
your
to my house?
how was your experience then? Going in
Voting?
at 7 a.m. Yeah, how was your total experience as far as going in person and voting with this whole COVID shit going on? What
It was
your
fine.
experience
They were
like?
social distancing. They had like tape on the floor and stuff. I saw like a whole contingent of Latino for Trump people that had the shirts
Mm-hmm.
on. They had the mask with it. They had the MAGA hat. Like they were deep. I was nervous.
You
I'm
felt
like,
comfortable?
Yeah, I felt comfortable. But I was nervous like for the election. I'm like, ooh. I texted Joe on like, yo,
Yo, I told
these
this guy,
Trumpsters out here heavy right
I
now.
told this guy a year ago this was over. I told him a year ago.
But I
this
told
was
him
over.
that. I told him that Trump was going to win Florida.
This guy's yeah.
Yeah, but
But
luckily,
luckily-
Florida's naturally a
Yeah,
red state. though.
Luckily, the
That's
counties
that's
we
not
live
a-
in, Broward and Dade, Biden won. So we're good.
I would expect Biden to win this crap.
If Texas would have been flipped to a blue, I would have been very surprised. That would have been crazy.
that's gonna be hard to do.
That would have been.
It's gonna be fun when it does, but it's gonna be hard to
Do
do.
you guys think there's a direct correlation between people who drive pickup trucks and how many of them voted for Trump?
No.
No.
I have
in that 96 mile rally?
I have Democratic friends that
Yeah,
drive trucks.
yeah,
bro,
you
and
got like
Obviously,
six
they
of
vote
them.
Joe Biden.
got
being,
six of
I'm being
them.
facetious, obviously.
It depends what your
But
job is.
When
Come
you
on,
see
man.
that 96 mile,
God,
now a Confederate flag, that's different.
Yeah.
Hanging on the truck.
Listen,
but
if
did you see
you-
that 96 mile Trump rally thingy? Every other car was a pickup truck.
If you have a pickup truck, there's a very good chance you voted for Trump.
No.
There's a strong.
you have a pickup truck with a Confederate flag.
There's a strong possibility, especially if you live in a state like Florida. Of course, Texas, yes.
So
Louisiana,
he's
yes.
been
Alabama,
saying, and the
yes.
reason why I asked you guys,
These guys, you got to be kidding me. There's no reason.
Because how many people drive a pickup truck that don't do some type
kind
of
of-
like
whether it's construction,
manual-
hard labor,
manual
man
that's
labor,
what I'm saying.
yeah.
and those people are.
So all the people that drive pickup trucks that don't do manual labor for a living, they voted for Trump. Let's be honest.
You cannot buy
The ones who do manual labor for a living that need a pickup truck, I'm willing to say it's 50-50.
if it's a pickup truck and it's lifted, 100%. 100%.
So Trump's been crying for now the last few days on social media, and I listen. You guys don't think that he'll run again? I think he'll run again in
don't think he
2024, man.
Bro,
don't think he will.
the
He doesn't like to lose, man.
The shock factor's gone. He'll be.
Let's say he does run it. Let's say he
He'll
does
fade.
run. Do you guys think he'll have a chance of winning it?
No.
He'll fade.
There's a guy.
It's gonna be a better candidate for Democrats next year.
My wife's grandfather, who I believe voted for Trump, he
I
follows this guy who, since like the 80s, has predicted every person that was going to be president. So he told my wife like 2-3 weeks before the election that Joe Biden was going to win, and he's a Trump supporter. So like, I don't see the Republican Party getting behind him
again.
because he lost by 5 million popular votes. That's a lot.
It's
of
almost
popular
6
votes.
million. I'm looking at it right now. It's almost 6 million right now.
President to he's lost the popular vote twice.
Yeah, it's almost 6 million
There's
people right now
Twice.
There's no way.
that he's lost
And
to.
and now a lot of these, because at the end of the day, I think what won the election was a lot of people who were in the working and lower class who just didn't care about politics, didn't care about the election, that weren't voting, like just worried about their lives and paying bills. Like they came out to vote. They came out to vote. Because when I was growing up, most people like that was in the projects, like They weren't voting.
I'm going to tell you this. I think if
The pandemic helped Joe Biden?
If he would have handled the pandemic better, Trump would be president again. I promise you that. If he would have handled it better.
What do you mean in terms of like stimulus checks and lockdowns?
Stimulus checks, lockdowns, his rhetoric, the way he handled. If he would have handled it better, there's nothing you can do about it.
Followers thinking it was a hoax.
There's nothing you can do about it getting to our borders. That's gonna happen. Like it just doesn't make a difference how it's gonna happen.
Yeah, it was gonna get in.
It's gonna get in. So the fact that it happened and the way he handled it, if he would have literally somehow got stimulus checks every month, helped with rent,
so people would have voted
mortgage,
for Trump for an extra $1,200.
we would have like. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it just felt like the people. It felt like the people were abandoned. It felt like government just abandoned.
But was that all on him though?
No, it's not all on him.
Absolutely, I want to ask you guys this.
But when you're ahead,
because I believe
you gotta
Nancy Pelosi,
that.
when they were trying to get another stimulus check thing through, she was trying to add like extra stuff that wasn't important right now.
So
she was trying, she was trying to stick a couple extra things in there, and the Republicans was like, whoa.
So,
but it would have been an extra check.
So what if she was doing this, which is fine.
I'm saying you can't solely put it on Donald Trump.
No, I'm not solely putting it on Donald Trump. But so what if she's asking for more? The fact that you'd have given it and gave to the people, you would have had another term. Now, obviously, it depends. It depends on what they were asking. I can't remember what
they were, but it was stuff that had nothing to do with the pandemic. I'm pretty sure.
It depends.
She was trying to slip
on
a couple extra policies.
Listen,
in there.
man. Listen, if you'd have done that, we wouldn't be talking about this right now.
Will there ever be a Latino president? I want to know you guys in our lifetime. I want to know you guys' opinion on that.
Yes.
You really think
because
that?
Ted Cruz and Rubio are both Latino, and they were very close to becoming president.
Full Latinos, both of them.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think so.
I literally, I was saying, I don't think this country is ready for a Latino president.
No, I don't. It's not that I don't think they're ready for it.
No, I just don't think that they want that. They would want it
if you look in
they already feel like because in 2050, in the year 2050, it's projected for Latinos to be the majority race in this country.
And in the biggest states in the country, there's an overwhelming population of Latinos.
And I don't think like those diehard Americans are going to want a Latino in.
But it may not matter.
I don't,
because land doesn't vote. People
I don't think Ted Cruz wins. I don't think.
I'm not saying.
I'm not saying those two. I'm just saying a Latino in general.
I think a Latino will become president.
Like I want some Taco Tuesdays in the White House
before like an Andrew Yang or someone who I really liked.
Andrew Yang is big time.
He was my favorite.
Now let me ask you. But do you think this country's ready for an Asian?
I would have put an Andrew Yang flag in my front yard if he was running for president.
Flag? I stand on the table.
But that's his policies.
But that's the thing, though. The who Russia, China, right? Like we have all these adversaries. You really think that America,
China congratulated Joe Biden too?
I know, but I'm saying
the fact that we can have somebody that's not white, I think that it speaks to what America.
I like Yang and Bernie Sanders.
I know. So
I like Yang and Bernie Sanders, to be honest.
I think
if Bernie was like 15 years younger, man, he would.
Bernie's just too far.
Bernie's too far left.
Bernie's just and listen.
I like Bernie.
I'm all for Bernie.
I like Bernie,
but he's just too far left for.
By the way, Bernie verbatim said exactly a week before that what was going to happen with Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin.
I mean, we all knew it. He was setting it up for months.
And he said, exactly what Bernie said. Bernie Sanders said for months Trump has been saying this so that he can have the excuse in his back pocket so that when he loses, he can start crying and saying these mail-in ballots this, these mail-in ballots that. And for everybody that doesn't know, mail-in ballots get counted last in those states. So those elections where people voted in person, they got voted first.
To count them until after.
But the thing is, the only
election night, everybody thought, we're good, we're going to win. Mail-in ballots, here they come.
There's two things I would say about this election, right? That I believe that we can change. One, every state should have the same policy on the way that they count the votes.
Of course.
And it's because the fact that we got votes being counted the same day and states being finished and other states is taking a week. Like, we need to have a process. So if you're going to count all the mail-in ballots after the election day, do that for every state. If you're going to count them, because in Florida, they counted them before.
Yeah.
Right? So to me...
They were ready to go.
Yeah, to me, like, you gotta have some type of
that also-
uniformity for every state. So at least, because there's gonna be, and my second point is, there's always going to be some level of fraud.
There's always going to be some level
in every election.
It's going to be hard.
Always.
It's hard to do that. It's hard to say we got to count it a certain way, considering like.
But I just think every state should be the same.
Some states are bigger than others. Some states have.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm not saying that it's not going to take longer for some places to count. But I'm saying everyone should have the same laws, right? There should be federal laws for election voting and counting. Like, it shouldn't be like gun laws where it's different in every state. That's my thing. Like, yeah, it may take longer to count some votes in Texas as opposed to Vermont, but at least we're operating on the same, like, system.
But I'm happy that Bernie Sanders video came out, man, because he literally a week before, I'm talking about to the T, said exactly the way that it was going to play out and exactly how Donald Trump was going to try to flip it. And what pisses me off about his social media account and him going off on it is that when you tell a lie over and over and over and over again, eventually you start to believe it. And that's his gameplay right now, to where he keeps telling that same lie, fraud, 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 and all his followers are the little puppets just right behind him saying, yeah, he's right, fraud, fraud, fraud. And the more you tell a lie, the more you start to believe it. And it's crazy how much everyone believes it right now, that people this is all of a sudden
sinker, man.
That all of a sudden this is just the most fraudulent election of all time.
Yeah. There's been fraud in every election. You won it in 2016, but there was no fraud.
There's fraud for the presidency, but not the other forms of government.
Nah, man, it just.
Of course, like
I'm not gonna lie to y'all, man, and listen, I'm not afraid to state my opinion. I know you guys aren't either. We're all individuals that we stick to what we believe in, and I'm excited and I'm happy that this motherfucker's out the office, man, because it was an embarrassment to have him in there.
It
was tough,
and I said it to people. I've been since he's been a president. I've been to England, France, Canada, Mexico, Costa Rica, Panama.
You bougie.
Oodles and noodles.
Right?
He used to be oodles and noodles.
He used to be oodles and noodles. He's steak and shrimp now.
Every country that I went to, right, when someone found out I was American, a waiter, a person that was, we were just randomly talking to, they were like, ooh, I feel sorry for you guys. You guys have Donald Trump. Like, when every country you visit is saying that, it's a problem.
Yep.
Like, we were embarrassed.
My cousin in Sweden was writing me on social media when Biden was winning, and he doesn't have a horse in the race, and he was telling me, he's like, the right guy's winning. He's like, you guys should be happy right now. He's like, the right guy's winning. So it's an embarrassment, man, and it's just this guy's he's to me, he's a con man. He's disrespectful to women, ethnicities, like, and he plays that role so well, to where he gets the white American, all American, Confederate flag toting person to get riled up and excited. And to me, it was just it's disgraceful and tasteless, man. And I'm excited, man. I can't wait till I can't wait till January 20th. The legacy of his
presidency, in my mind, is that because racism has always existed in America and existed all over the world, but the legacy of his presidency to me is that he's allowed every person that held some type of racial bias in their body to come out and feel comfortable
about it.
Going to a rally, putting it out on their lawn, saying it to the camera. Like, think about how many people have gotten fired, right? That have worked at universities, schools, wherever, because they went to some racist rally that Trump condoned. It's crazy. We've never seen anything like it. Like, we always knew the KKK and people with Confederate flags, and we've seen it, but like the fact that people are just coming out and willing to, and some people say, "Oh, it's not." Listen, I've seen a lot of Trump rallies, and I've seen Nazi flags and Confederate flags. I haven't seen them at anyone else's rallies.
Nope.
I haven't seen them at anyone else's
rallies. And so nobody thinks that I'm just all far left, Democratic all the way. To be honest with you, man, I vote for the better candidate. And if there was a candidate on the Republican side that was better than Joe Biden, I would have voted for him.
I agree.
I agree.
I don't go based off of just being Democratic or being Republican. I go based off who's the better candidate, who has the better moral character, who has the better things in store for our country, and I will vote according to that, not based off of blue and red.
No. When Trump first won the presidency and John Kasich was, I don't know if you guys, John Kasich, I think he's the governor of Ohio. When he was, in the debates and the things that he was saying, like, if he would have went up against Hillary, I might have voted for him.
And there's nothing
he's a
wrong
staunch
with
Republican.
But that's the thing. There's nothing wrong with that.
He had concrete ideas, decent views, and he wasn't a radical.
The thing is that there's too many people that are either blue or red, and that's all they see.
Yeah,
that's all they see. They don't care who the other candidate is or how qualified they are, how much better they are than their candidate. They're gonna go with who they want to go with because all their life they've been voting once a certain way.
But a lot of people, it's.
But you can't be like that.
I've gone to that point where I've asked people, "Why are you a Republican? Why are you a Democrat?" Because my parents are.
Because of their
parents. That's not a good answer. It's not
Yeah.
a good answer. That is not a good answer. It's not. But I have another question for you guys that came up from one of our social media followers that kind of ties into Joe Biden becoming president. And this is something interesting for us because you didn't go to college and we both went to college for free. How do you guys feel about Joe Biden saying that he's going to forgive student loan debt?
My college experience was paid for by the United States Air Force. Shout out
to Air Force.
So how do you guys feel about the him saying that he's going to repay student?
How do you guys feel about that?
I'm okay with it. It doesn't.
So what about the
me.
people that already paid off their student debt? They're going to get some kind of stipend? What's going on? With that?
No, that sucks. That sucks. It sucks for.
Listen,
go ahead. You go ahead.
I have a unique perspective, right? Because
he asked you the question.
I went to college for on a scholarship. It wasn't free because what I had to do to get it and had nothing to do with being free. But I'm in a unique position because I pay my wife's student loans, right? So it would benefit me, but I'm at a point where like I feel like if you're not giving me a check too, like I'm disgruntled about it. Yeah. Because for me, I know so many people that didn't go to college, right? Correct me if I'm wrong, you guys do too, because they couldn't afford it and had to do something else.
Well, that's why I went to the Air Force.
So you're gonna tell me that you guys took out money in loans, right, to invest in your education, which is a well worth it, right? And you're not gonna pay that back, and all the people that couldn't do that, like they just get nothing.
And by the way, let me throw this in there real quick.
Isn't that a part about being progressive? Like I get it, but there's some things that my mom and my grandparents and they didn't have that I have. Like my mom, I mean not my mom, but my grandmother couldn't get a quality education. You can. So there's things. Time is supposed to change.
Wait, here's the crazy part. Look, when I was in the Air Force, I remember we were all in line standing at attention, and our drill instructor came up to us and asked us literally one by one why we joined, like in our face, like why'd you join the United States Air Force? And it was so funny because he was going down the line and everybody was like, oh, because I'm patriotic, I want to. And this was in 2005, right after 9/11, a few years after. So it was the Iraq and Afghanistan, all that was still in play at that time. And everybody was like, I want to defend my country, I'm patriotic, this and that. He came up to me and he was like, why did you join? I said, because my mother can't pay for college. You know what that man told me? That man looked at me, he smiled, and he was like, finally an honest answer.
An honest answer.
I straight up looked him dead in his eyes, and I said, because I can't afford to go to college.
This is the reason why I disagree. Let me paint.
Listen, man, don't be disgruntled.
Let me paint this picture, okay? Someone that couldn't afford to go to college, okay, that had to work. Maybe they did trade. Maybe they started working at Starbucks, worked their way up to manager, whatever. They saved. Because my whole thing is I hear, oh, well, college debt is killing the middle class and people can't save for houses and this, that, and the other. Okay, maybe that's valid, right? But that guy that worked his way up from 18 to manager at Starbucks that bought himself a house, right, that had to grind, and you went to college, right, and maybe you didn't major in something that was financially lucrative enough to pay your student loans back in a timely manner.
A teacher.
Right? You mean to tell me that you're gonna have a job possibly that
teachers
pays
should get
more
paid
than
more, by the way, shout out.
That pays more than he makes, and you're gonna get all your student loan debt given back to you? Like, that's crazy to me.
That's not crazy.
That's
Tyrone,
crazy.
Things have to change. You have to change something.
No, they should make college cheaper.
They should.
That's what they should do.
They should make.
No, I know, but right now you're disgruntled. Right now you're disgruntled because you want to be in a position to get your shit paid off.
I'm not necessarily disgruntled for myself.
Of course not.
Right? Because I don't have student loans and I still got to go to college. Yeah. But I'm saying I know so many people that didn't go to college and had to work their ass off to get where they are.
Again, Tyrone, 60 years ago, like our parents couldn't go to school, couldn't go to college, things like that of that nature. Not, I'm not saying 60, but things of that nature.
Is available for everyone now.
Things have changed. Okay, you want to know why? Because things have changed. So guess what? That's
Yeah.
going to change. And,
But listen,
and us
I'm
moving
all
to,
for college being cheaper.
us
College
moving
is way too expensive.
Us moving to a
But
point where people are
forgiving
forgiving
student loans?
Forgiving student
Nah,
loans.
bro.
Guess what? So you want to know what that means?
Nah.
Now Monaco can go to school and his loans are going to be forgiven. That's what that means. Now Britain can go to school and their loans are going to be forgiven. Now Logan can go to school and their loans are going to be forgiven. That's what that means. That's what that means. It changed.
If you want to invest in your education,
yes, I get it.
do it. It's well worth it.
It's
well worth it
for a lot of
but
people.
you don't have to go to a school that's
That
$40,000
sucked.
a year.
You don't.
You can go to a school that's $5,000 a year.
You don't.
And
Yeah,
get
but are
the-
you,
and
are
get
you
the
going to get the
s-
same?
Close to it.
Are you
Can't do
sure?
that.
Close to it.
So you're telling me
Don't say
that
close to it
so
because
BC
that-
BC
thank
BC
you.
education is gonna be the same as Broward College?
They're probably the same education.
You can get to the same place.
They're probably the same education, but guess what?
can get to the same
One
place.
says Boston College on it, and it carries a lot more weight
Yeah.
than the other says
But
Broward.
it depends on what you do. So if you go to Broward College and someone goes to BC, right, and you guys both get a 4.0 and you both score well on the MCAT, no one cares. No one cares.
No one cares.
The medical school's not gonna go, oh, you went to Broward. Oh, you got this on the MCAT?
No.
Same as that kid from BC.
No one cares. But
Don't matter.
don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. When they look at it,
I work with
When they
physicians.
look at
I
it-
see their undergrad all the time. 90% of them didn't go to great, well-known national
when
schools.
They look at, but yeah, yep. They didn't. They didn't. But when
True or
you
false?
True this. But when you see one that did, what do you say? Oh, I got a rock star. Don't get me wrong. Look at that face. Look at that face. When you see one that do, you know what you say.
Not undergrad. Though. Not undergrad.
I don't care what it is.
Not undergrad.
You worked at the same place.
Yeah.
You worked at the same place with
Yeah.
us. When you see one where he got that Yale, he got that Harvard,
not-
he got
but not
that he got that top residency. I don't know what y'all is because y'all do EM. He got that top residency. He got that that Seattle
Yeah, that's-
traumatology. You know what I'm gonna say?
It's
Oh, I got a rock star, baby.
That's different. That's
Oh, I
not
got a
undergrad.
rock star.
Though. That's not undergrad.
I get it.
That's
But
not
I get it.
undergrad,
But
though.
I need you to
That's not
do you,
undergrad.
Do you understand where I'm coming from?
But my point is that you can get to the
I don't
same
wanna hear it,
places.
bro.
You can get to the same
I
med
don't
school,
wanna hear it.
right?
But he's
Whether-
saying,
Get him, Gonzo.
listen to me.
but what he's
whether
saying,
you
Gonzo.
go to whether you go to Nova or Southeastern,
Get him,
right, which
Gonzo.
is also an expensive school, or University of Miami. Most people outside of Florida don't. I never heard of Nova Southeastern.
Get him,
right?
Gonzo.
You get the same grades at both of those schools. You could both go to John Hopkins.
Get him,
University
Gonzo.
for medical school.
Get him,
Both of you.
Gonzo.
Both of you.
We've been in those conversations where you sit here at the table and you say, "Guess what? Guess what, team? I got a rock star."
no, and you're right.
He went to Stanford.
not for undergrad.
He went to Stanford.
Yeah, medical
He
school.
got his.
That's
It doesn't
different.
make a difference.
Yes,
It's
it does.
all the same. Schooling is all the same.
Yes.
I can get my medical. I can go to anywhere and get a medical degree. I can go anywhere and get my residency. But when you got one of those top programs on there and you slide that CV across the
the
table,
name-
That's because
hit
it's harder
different.
to get into those
It hit
schools,
different.
though. It has nothing to
You
do
want to know
with
why
the
it's harder?
price.
You don't want to know why it's harder to get into those schools because you went to another school that was very difficult and you did that same 4.0. Listen, the thing hit different. Don't look at you know it. I know it. It hit different. We talk
Not
about it
undergrad.
different. We go to. That's why you giving me that smirk.
Not
That's why you
undergrad,
keep giving me that smirk. You know it hit different.
The name,
It hit
the
different,
name,
son. It hit
Boston
different.
College
Listen.
compared to Broward College
I'm
on
not
resume,
for forgiving
bro.
student loans, and I pay my wife.
You're not for forgiving
which I'm
student
fine
loans
doing.
because I think you're just being a little disgruntled. We all have to understand
I'm not
that
disgruntled.
for us as a country,
would benefit me.
For us as a country to move forward, we all have to be progressive in some way. Does it suck? It sucks for all the people who had to go through that, who had to pay for
So
school,
what do we give
and
them?
had to work for school. I don't know. Sometimes you get reward. Sometimes you pat yourself on the back. I don't know what to tell you.
Listen, y'all gonna
listen.
I
We're
need,
not.
I need a check for 15 minutes.
Listen, we everybody get a trophy now. Everybody get a trophy
No,
now.
this ain't got nothing to do with
It
everybody
sounds like
getting a
everybody get a trophy.
Why? 'Cause they ain't doing nothing for it.
It doesn't make it.
not that everybody
Guess
get a
what?
trophy
It sounds like
analogy.
everybody
What
get a
you
trophy.
talking about?
It sounds like everybody get a trophy. Oh, since I get it, you should get it. And no, son. This is the point. This is the point. 2021 or 22, whatever year you want to pass it. From
Listen.
this point on, we forgive loans. That's what it is.
Your MCAT
That's what it is,
analogy, great. But when you see BC on one resume, Boston College to Broward College,
It hit different.
you know who
You know it
who they're
hit
gonna call
different.
first.
Listen.
You know it
You know
hit
who they're
different.
gonna call first.
You know
Listen.
it hit different. That's why listen, that old CV joint was a perfect.
You know
one.
who they're
It was
gonna call
perfect.
first.
You know it hit different.
Look,
you
he's
don't hit me
still
with
smiling
that.
'cause he
You don't hit me
knows.
with that.
Listen.
You don't hit me with that
Listen,
before. Listen. You wrong.
I'm not for them getting their
Okay,
student loans.
I agree. I hear you. But you're also not for a mandatory minimum wage. So like you don't.
And
you're
I
not for a lot
voted. I
of
voted
shit.
no. Oh,
You're
by
not
the
for
way,
a lot of shit.
what did you got? What did you got? I know this guy voted yes.
Yeah, you
What-
know
what
damn
did-
right
What
I
did you
did.
vote for the $10 minimum wage? For
$15.
It starts- it goes to 10
in 5 years, $1
In
every year.
2026, it goes to 15. Would
Yeah.
you vote?
Yes.
No, I voted.
Of course.
I voted no.
Of course, I know you would. It makes no damn sense you voted no.
I voted no.
But of course you did. What you say?
Well, you know what's
oh,
crazy?
God.
You know what's crazy? I voted.
guy's
I
ridiculous.
voted yes, and the more that I thought about it, the more I started to regret a little bit of it. I'm not gonna lie to you because
guys are
it's an
I mean,
entry.
you just
it's
went
an-
on a whole tangent the other day about
guys
$15 for people at
No, I know, but
McDonald's.
the-
That's what they're gonna be
people
making.
need
At
a
But,
livable
but the more that I
wage.
thought about it, it's an entry level position,
People
bro.
need
Like
a livable wage. People need a livable wage. Listen,
minimum wage and livable wage is not the same thing.
we can't go
a
back to that. We're not
livable
going back to
wage.
that.
We shouldn't go back. We shouldn't
not
go
going back to that.
You guys are
We're gonna leave
freaking
that.
kidding me.
That's on
15
episode
bucks
3
today,
if y'all wanna know.
15 bucks is perfect. Good. Thank
Episode 3, if y'all want to go listen to that,
you,
man.
jackasses.
Episode 3. But
Hey, no, I got a question. So I don't know if y'all heard about it. This guy DeSantis, whatever his name is, DeSantis,
the governor.
the Florida governor. How about the bill he passed for
Looting?
For looting? This
Yeah,
guy's
crazy.
ridiculous.
This guy's crazy.
This guy's ridiculous.
Wild Wild West,
He
man.
was. He's a Trump puppet.
For people who don't
the
know,
Wild Wild
for
West.
people who don't know, looters can be shot. Basically, looters can be shot
And
if
they
they're
can be
within
ran
500
over.
feet. If they're within 500 feet of your property, and if they're blocking the road, they can be ran over.
Yeah, but you
without
can
cause.
shoot somebody that's stealing in your house anyways. Though.
Yeah, you could be able to listen. I'm
But if it's not
completely
your
fine.
property, like you can, does it apply to like?
I have no ownership. I have no clue.
Yeah, I gotta read into that. 'Cause if
I
you
don't
tell
give a
me
damn
that
if it
somebody
applies.
can just go pop somebody that's looting at Target, that's not.
I don't
not
give a
her.
damn if it applies or not. I don't give a damn.
But if somebody's stealing from your house and you shoot them, I mean,
Bro, Florida's the
but
Wild
somebody
West,
has to be
bro.
going in your house and stealing from your house.
Yeah.
And now, if I break a window in your store, like, I mean, you just gonna shoot everybody? Like, this is
DeSantis
it's
is a
retarded.
clown. Bro.
It's retarded.
Did you see his like interview when Florida was done counting and he was over here dancing for Trump? Oh yeah, everyone should be like Florida.
Yeah, but he's a puppet though, like you said, man. He's a puppet, and
clown.
I can't wait till he's out of
who
here
was the
too,
governor
man.
before him?
Rick Scott.
Yeah,
Rick
he
Scott?
was a clown, but this dude DeSantis is on a different level.
So I mean, I think
Hey, don't come to Florida unless you're going to Disney World or you're coming to Broward or Dade. Yeah, Jacksonville and Tampa's all right too, but the rest of Florida, stay out of it. Guy's a clown.
so. I think that concludes episode 4, fellas.
Shit, that was quick.
Yeah, it was. It was good. It went by fast, man, but we got everything out. That's episode 4 of the Unapologetic Gentlemen.
Yo.
And we'll be back with episode 5, some more fun topics. Probably get back into sports as well.
Shout out Joe Biden and better luck in 2024, Trumpsters.
Yo, Biden Harris, 2020.